Here I thought making buttermilk rusks were quite hard. Turns out, they're really straightforward, and they're really simple to make at home. Not only are they super versatile, shelf stable, and incredibly delicious, they're also the ultimate pairing with either your coffee or tea. If left unchecked, I'd probably eat a box of this every day. Even without coffee or tea, it's still amazing to eat. That crunch, I'm all about it. Getting into the recipe, we'll be starting off with breaking eggs into a mixing bowl, along with a measured amount of brown sugar. Despite the amount of sugar, it's actually not that sweet. If you do have a sweet tooth, I do recommend adding a little bit more sugar, but if you like your coffee or tea nice and sweet, it'll balance out. Mix them thoroughly, then we'll be introducing the buttermilk. Buttermilk has the consistency of almost yogurt, but a little bit runnier, kinda like a chunkier yogi sip. Give that a mix as well until that's well combined, then we'll be setting that to the side. In another mixing bowl, we'll be adding in self-raising wheat flour. Self-raising wheat flour is basically just regular wheat flour mixed in with baking powder. So if you have regular flour, throwing in some baking powder works just as well. Passing it through a sieve is very much optional. Now follow that up with a hefty amount of salt, be quite generous, along with a slab of butter. If it's room temperature butter, you can throw it right in, but mine came out straight the fridge, so I threw it in the microwave for around 30 seconds. Mix the butter in with the flour, and with your hands, make sure it's evenly spread. Mix the dry and wet mixture until it forms into a nice coherent dough. We're gonna need that just for a little bit. It should have the consistency of almost cookie dough. Transfer it onto a baking sheet with either silicone mat or parchment paper. You can either use a rolling pin to press down the dough, but I personally found that wetting your hands and spreading it out slowly works better for me. Mainly because my rolling pin is a bit too big to fit in that tray properly, and it also sticks to the rolling pin a lot. Once it's nice and spread out, cook in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit for 40 to 50 minutes. The main visual cue you're looking for is a darkening deep brown on the outer layer. Don't let it go further than that, otherwise you'll burn. We remove the parchment paper or the silicone mat, and we'll be slicing the rusks into rectangular shapes, or any other shapes that you prefer. And of course, make sure to let it cool down just a little bit so that you're able to handle it and not hurt yourself. Once done slicing, we'll be placing them onto a wire rack, preferably with the sides facing up, as the next process will be a dehydration process, and doing it like this will help it speed it along. We'll be placing it back into the oven at around 90 to 100 degrees Celsius, or around 200 Fahrenheit, for 3 to 5 hours, or when the rusk is completely dried out and hard. I usually periodically check in around the 3 to 4 hour mark and let it continue if it's not dehydrated enough, or pull it out if it's ready. And that is it to the recipe. Hope you guys enjoyed.